being a beat maker, being a YouTuber, a freelance filmmaker, really any content creator at this moment in our time, in this era, is becoming increasingly saturated. We have tons of manufacturers that are making tons of equipment, and it's really up to us to figure out what we need and what we can use, what we already have, which a lot of us have devices. We have cell phones with great cameras in them already. We have iPads that have, cameras built into them. And, we also have access to these DSLRs, these mirrorless cameras. We can also get GoPros now with 4K. Then there's stabilizers. You've got tracks and you've got gimbals. You can use, they've got drones for film now. And how do you sift through all this stuff? How do you know when you're not wasting money? How do you know when you've picked the perfect piece of equipment or the perfect piece of editing software? So really what we need to do is we need to get somebody in here that knows what they're talking about, that's made some of the mistakes along the way, and that is willing to share some of his experiences so that we don't have to make the same mistakes. Somebody else has already made them, so we can just learn from that. So if you want to come in and join us and ask some questions, or if you're watching this on playback, please leave a comment. I'll make sure he gets it. So really all that's left to do now is start the show. Let's go. How's it going, folks? What's up, everybody? My name is Will. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it very much. I don't know. It's like episode six or seven, I think. And let me tell you something. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the learning. I'm enjoying the process of creating things with people. That's kind of the next step on this, is to get people in here in this broadcast environment and do some creative stuff. That's really the goal here. I want to kind of dip my toes into this live thing and get an understanding of how it works, get good at this broadcasting software. And then I want to start bringing multiple people into live streams and create content in real time. So there's a whole thing I want to talk about, music and the era that we're in right now, and how sampling could be global. I mean, what is our era right now? We're in a streaming era, so we should be streaming. Anyway, that's another whole topic. So today, like I said here in the intro, we're going to talk about video. We're going to talk about filmmaking. We're going to talk about really stuff that I have no expertise in this area except for whatever it is that I do here that you guys are a part of. So I have a guy with me today, and he's going to go over some of the stuff that he's been through and really give us some tidbits on things that he's done to get his startup going. So with me today, I've got 83 Media Productions.
What's up, man? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm real good. I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad that you're on board, and that you and I can have a chill talk about the stuff that's interesting to you, because that's really what's interesting to me, is the things that others are interested in. Because I can learn from you, man. You and I have a lot of similarity. We have a lot of similar interests. We actually have both been in the military. We're both, I don't know if you still own your X or not, but you owned an Mpc X at one time.
Still got it.
At the very least, it's like a video production tool. I think that the main thing in the intro was, let's learn from your mistakes. Tell me the worst investment you ever made.
5Gs on a lens. Turns out I didn't really need it, right? I was watching YouTube videos, and I thought that I needed this lens that this guy was using to make my videos look the same way. It turns out that was completely not true at all. And I started forcing myself to use the lens because it just sat on the shelf somewhere, and I took it to a trip in Amsterdam, and I dropped the lens, cracked it. It saved my camera though, because it was it was attached to the camera when I dropped it, but it fell on the lens instead of on my camera. And I didn't have an LLC at the time. You know, I wasn't an established business, so I couldn't charge it to insurance. You know, I didn't have insurance on it, so it was just 5Gs gone.
Damn, I still like.
On this
I mean, it's funny, but it's not. It's terribly funny. It's because I can just.
It's okay. You can laugh. It was a few years ago. I'm over it. You know.
Oh man, and zero comp on that. Like nothing.
No,
so
ate it, man.
So what camera was that attached to? I didn't ask you that.
80D, Canon 80D.
Oh, the 80D. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a set of $10,000 rims on a $200 car.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So I like that though. I like that move. I have that reverse move. I've got a $20 lens on a $1,500 camera, so it's similar, I guess. But if I drop the lens, I'm good. I just don't want to bust my camera.
No, save the camera, man.
Yeah, and I actually really like the EOS-M. So, you know, the EOS-M, this thing was a fail. Like, I don't know if you know about the EOS-M, the history of it at all, but like,
not at all.
Canon made this camera, the EOS-M. It's a mirrorless camera, and when they debuted it, it got such terrible reviews. It has like 2 buttons on it, right? So Canon was so like off base on what they thought the consumer wanted that when all the reviews started coming in and everybody started trashing on this thing, they had to drop the price.
I've never even heard of it. No, when you said EOS, I thought you were talking about the new EOS-R for a second, and then you said M, and it threw me all off.
Yeah,
no, I've never heard of that.
I think they're like from like 2012. I think that's when they were released. So at
right before the ADD.
Right before the ADD. So the EOS-M, like now, I guess would be the M50. I guess is probably
okay. All
what
right.
they upgraded it to, and you know.
I see.
So the EOS-M is kind of like the little bitch camera that nobody wanted, and now that you can get them for like $150. There's a guy, the DSLR movie guy, or what the hell is he called? I'll put it in the description if you're hearing this. So this guy does these videos where he really reviews top to bottom. He puts out a video every week, and he was talking about this camera, which came with a cage. It came with a lens. It came with like a filter. What is it called? A ND filter.
ND filter.
Adapter. It came with a tripod. All that stuff under $300. The dude put everything from Amazon in the description. All you got to do is go and click on the stuff, and you got it. Like, it's so cool that he did that, because he did all the hard work. You were a military guy, and you were in the Army, and you were overseas. So whereabouts have you been?
Let's see. I did a tour in Iraq, 2 Afghanistan, Korea, South Korea, and Germany.
And everybody loves South Korea and Germany.
Yeah, party time over there. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you recently, like within the last year or two, take a trip to Turkey? Is that right? Istanbul or something? I remember.
Yeah, that was I guess. Yeah, sometime over the spring, I guess. Yeah, I went to Istanbul for about 3 days, and I took my ADD with me, and I've got the Mpc X, but before I had the Mpc X, I had the Mpc Studio. That's what my first major piece of equipment right there. But I take that when I travel, because the X is just way too big.
It is.
But I took the Studio out there with me. Yeah, man, I just did what I do. I made a little beat video, practiced some new techniques I had learned. I think that video I was trying to do hyperlapse. So I did a complete circle around this big fountain that they had, and sped the video up in post-production, spun it around.
You married? You got kids?
Nah, I got some kids, but no wife.
Too many trips to Istanbul to make.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I tried to do some stuff. Actually, I have like 50 hours of video from Cambodia and Thailand from last year. The amount of stuff that we can do now with like real-time editing stuff, and I've seen some pretty crazy stuff, man. People are trying to pull off, underwater shots, and I love seeing that
Anything
stuff.
to get creative, yeah. Right.
Do you own any of the drones or any of that stuff? Had any
Yeah,
experience?
yeah. I've got a drone. I've got a Mavic Pro.
Okay. And it
Um,
has like
and
a
you know what?
hefty.
It's a no. I guess you said it's their their midpoint version. They've got a higher end, and then they've got the Spark, which is the lower end. So I'm at the midpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, and it works. I haven't really used too many drone shots. Um,
It sounds good at
but
the
it's fun
time.
to have one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun to have one. I'd still fly it just to fly it.
Right. Yeah. I could see that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let me buy a plow for my four-wheeler so I can plow the
Right.
yard. And then, nah, it's not that fun. It's not
Nah,
that fun.
no.
It's good to have. It's not that
Right.
fun. So if you were a
Yeah.
beginner and you were gonna buy a camera that would give them a little bit of room to grow as an artist.
Um, I would still recommend the 80D. Honestly,
Okay.
it's a great camera to start with. It's cheap now, and I believe the 90D just came out. The 90D just
Yeah,
released,
I did.
which means the 80D should be even cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
which is always good. And now you can get bundles where it comes with a whole bunch of lenses, comes with a whole bunch of accessories. So yeah, it's still the 80D because it's going to get you the 1080p you need. You can get higher frame rates, not 120 for super slow motion, but you can get a little bit of slow motion on it, and
Yeah.
it'll still work for you. It's a durable camera, great system. It's a popular camera, so you can look up videos all day and learn how to use it if you need to.
And
Yeah,
it actually also has a flip out. Like one of the big things,
yeah,
I was like, I gotta have the flip. I gotta be able to see
definitely. Especially
what
if you're
I'm
doing
doing.
YouTube, you need to quickly set up. You need to see yourself right away. Yep,
You gotta have that full, that visual because you
yep.
could be shooting your chin and you'd have no
Right.
idea.
Expect to learn something. That's the way I see it.
You can always learn something. If
Yeah.
somebody's a jerk and
Mhm.
you don't think you can learn anything from that person, you can learn how not to be a jerk. Um, so can you tell me again how you got into making videos?
I'm a beat maker as a hobby. I've been doing it since I was a kid. I think fifth grade, sixth grade. Me and my friends have been making music, and I started off in the basement making Fisher Price beats on remember Fruity Loops? It's called FL Studio now, but back in the day it was
Yep.
called Fruity Loops. Yeah, that's what we had. I
Soldier
had a
Boy.
pirated Yeah, I had a pirated version of Fruity Loops. But
Nice.
yeah, anyway, so I just wanted a platform where I could um go and release my beats, and
Hmm.
I, and I chose YouTube, and YouTube is all about video. So first thing I researched was getting a camera for music. And next, you got to have editing software. So I started, doing a little research on editing software. Came to a decision on what I wanted to do there, and then once I started actually putting the videos together and starting to create my message, I realized the process of doing that was more fulfilling than the process of making beats, which is still fulfilling. I still love to do it, but I was having so much more fun actually making the video, actually making my message, that I kind of, decided that the video part is what I want to actually turn into a career.
So you felt like you could tell a better story
Yeah,
with video than you
exactly.
could with your music. And
Precisely.
then
Yep.
the music, it was kind of an enhancement to what you're doing.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Even now, the videos I post on YouTube that are music related, I'm only filming it because I saw that I have a subject to film. I've got an idea that I can build a video around.
By the way, can we get a video? Can we get one?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do one.
All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's do one.
We can do one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. There was you mentioned just now about software, and we
Yep.
never even got into this.
Hmm.
So when you were doing your research and you found like different types of software, what have you tried? What do you not
I've,
recommend for sure?
I've here's the thing about the software. They're all pretty much the same.
Hmm.
So what I would recommend is, what is your computer system? Like, what can it handle? There's DaVinci Code, there's Final Cut Pro. Adobe's got some dope software, but they all pretty much do the same exact thing. They just have a different workflow. Uh, Final Cut is made by Apple. I have an Apple computer, and I tried DaVinci. I've tried Adobe. I just decided to settle with Final Cut Pro. It's just more convenient for me. So software recommendations, try them out and stick with the one that works. You won't be
A lot
missing
of
out on
stuff,
anything really.
and a lot of stuff has free trials and stuff now, so you
Yeah.
can at least give it a try. I find myself gravitating more towards building like a live experience,
Right.
So it's like, I guess in your way of the video enhances your audio. For me, the live aspect enhances the audio. Hey, if you can put 10,000 hours into anything, you're gonna get good at it.
Yeah, you're gonna get better. It's whatever you were when you started, you're gonna be a whole lot better, you know?
So we talked a little bit about how you got into video, the tips for beginners that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, my number one tip,
Yeah,
lighting, get a handle on your lighting techniques.
lighting.
Basically, yeah, lighting. I said I recommended don't go get the $700 light that I have. You know, I've worked my way up to that. You know,
Right.
get you a nice soft LED light and some diffusion, and practice making your camera look even better.
Yes. Yeah, because you can get great footage from a terrible camera if you have good lighting, and lighting
Precisely.
is reasonably inexpensive
It
for
is.
what you get.
It can get pricey. There's some crazy stuff
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but that's
Yes.
stay away from when you're starting off. Don't worry about what, like, the hardest thing for me was seeing someone on YouTube you know, showing off the gear that they've got,
With the
and
heat.
immediately I thought I gotta get that. That's what I need.
Right. Right.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. No, you don't. Trust me.
How do
You
you
can spend your money elsewhere.
how do you feel about like the black magic stuff?
I love them. Actually, I got one right here. This is what this camera is right here.
Okay.
Um,
Which
yeah,
one is
it's
this?
this is the 4K Pocket
Okay.
Cinema 4K, and I've got my Helios lens we were talking about earlier. I got that attached to it.
So the Helios is he did a video on the Helios. You can find it on his YouTube channel. I'm also going to put a link to your YouTube channel in the description too, so people can just find you
Appreciate
pretty
it.
easily. And
Thank you.
that Helios, I'm gonna put that also. I mean, they can get it on your channel, but I'll put it in there because it's like a $50 lens if you can do a little research, and the video quality is amazing. Like
Yeah.
the photos that you can take is amazing. It really is good.
It's a beautiful lens, and It's old, but it's stood the test of time. It's still
Some of the
sought after
oldies.
today, and
Some of the
because it's so
oldies.
old, yeah, exactly, and it's cheap. One of the cheaper lenses you'll find on the market.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking about those Russian lenses. I mean, you can find these like fixed lenses reasonably cheap, and they are built like tanks. And
Yeah.
if you want a vintage look, there's some pretty tricky stuff you can do nowadays. I mean, I've even seen people strap like what are they called? Like the 9mm, like the
Yeah.
old school, like the old film lenses, really old
Mhm.
school looking ones. It almost looks like
Yeah.
a box.
Yeah.
I've seen people strap those onto an EOS-M on YouTube.
Right.
And that's pretty amazing, man, to be able to
Yeah.
take something that's like 40 years old and
It's
strap
like
it to.
it's a fusion of old technology with new technology. But
I love that. I love that. I do. I was talking about it in the intro a little bit about like where we are in like the technology era, and
Yeah.
we define eras a lot of times depending on technology. So like back in the 80s, 70s and 80s, we were using vinyls. And so that's kind of like the vinyl era, And then the classic hip hop era came kind of out of the vinyl era. And so I feel like right now we're in the streaming era. And so I don't think that anybody has done this yet, and I probably need to like coin this somehow. But imagine, man, taking the vinyl, like
Right.
streaming this. So if I plug this vinyl, well, actually, if I turned it on, it's plugged in. The stream would send out the vinyl, and something's going to happen to that signal over the stream. So whoever's on the other end receiving that stream can sample that, And that right there encompasses our era,
Right.
because you're using the stream to send the audio. In 20 years, if you want that sound, you're going to have to find a 20-year-old router, and you're going to have to find a 20-year-old modem, and you're going to have to find a 20-year-old Mpc X or whatever,
Right.
and Ethernet cables. I mean, to get that sound.
Right.
So who knows what happens to the audio on a stream, but we're not taking advantage of this. Like, I think most of us see like the audio quality of a live stream as a hindrance.
Right.
But why are we always trying to like degrade our sound to get like an SP1200 emulation, or to get that 8-bit sound? But we're not taking advantage
of the stream. Yeah, the stream is providing
sound.
that. Yeah. It's providing it for you. Yeah.
So I just feel like, like I really want to do something like this, like bring people into my broadcast environment. Like right now, if you and I were private and this wasn't being streamed to YouTube, you could collaborate with me. You could have me make sounds that you like. Then you can.
And I could just record it right there. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Record it right onto the MPC right then. Add the drums, save it as a wave, and send it back to me, and I can play it on like right then on the live stream. Like that could be a 1 hour.
Pretty cool.
That would be a 1 hour show, a 1 hour process.
Yeah, where pretty dope actually.
You're like getting somebody into your studio, and then you bring some video in. Maybe I have another source and you have something edited and we can put it together. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do. It's just people have to be willing to kind of like make the time to try new things. So that went off on a little tangent there for a little bit. So
good, man.
all right, so we know what not to buy, and you told me about the worst investment you ever made. So what was the best investment you ever made? The worst was that $5,000 lens because you dropped it. But
I say the best investment is probably I've been on a roll. I've been using the last few things I bought, I've been using religiously. So I would have to say my 4K, my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's quickly becoming my favorite camera. It's so small, but it's cinema quality.
Right.
It's I could make something that Netflix would buy off of it with this camera. It's that good, and it's so cheap.
It doesn't. Go ahead.
It costs the same as the 80D.
Now you tell me.
I mean, it's a little different. It is a cinema camera, so it doesn't have a display and no autofocus and all that. So, but yeah, I'm loving this thing.
I mean, it sounds like it makes you want to create things.
Keep on making stuff,
And that's what I guess that would be, how I would define a really good investment is, does it make you want to do more? I mean, I have a bunch of stuff that I paid a lot of money for, that I consider good investments, but the greatest investment was that mixer because, like I said, I mean, I have a bunch of inputs in there, and I never thought I would need that many, but thank God I did. Overshooting the mark. So, all right, well, I got a couple more questions here, and actually, one thing you can tell us, because really we had this talk about getting started as a freelance filmmaker, and like trying to decide what you want to bring yourself, like how you want to present yourself with the branding. And
you need branding, definitely.
You need the branding.
You gotta have a place where you're showing off it's your portfolio. This is what I can do for you. This is what I bring to the table. You got to have somewhere where you're posting something,
And so what is that for you?
It's my Instagram account. And it's done through my stories. not so much on the post. Yeah, I mean, I put it on the stories. I've been getting a lot of feedback from that, so I think I'm gonna continue to do that. And also, website creation is gonna be real big. Um, you got to have a website, just because that looks makes you look more professional for
Right.
potential clients. You know.
Right. And then in the what did we call it? The Hollywood versus the freelance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, if you're trying to like if you're thinking about becoming a filmmaker, you got to you got to determine what kind of filmmaker you're going to be, right? Because Hollywood, if you want Hollywood, if you want to be on sets of big budget productions, you got to go to film school. Like, I mean, good luck. You should
Right,
probably go
right.
to film school because you're going to meet people that have the same goal, and you're going through the same things, and they're going to teach you, you know, the path to get there. But you don't need college if you're trying to shoot weddings.
Yep.
Those all you need is a camera, some lighting, and some technique. You know, to go create. That's it.
And
You
man,
know.
we most people, I would say a good majority of people have enough just with their phones,
Yep.
just to get themselves started,
Yep.
some lighting, you know,
Camera technology has grown so much since basically
fast.
since the Canon AD, since 2014 to what is this 5 years? This 5 year span, camera technology is completely just blown up. I had fun posting those YouTube videos. I'm gonna get back to it. Just got to find the time for it.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
And when you're doing this as a career,
Yeah.
the fun stuff, maybe you find a way to tie it in.
Yeah, I'm trying to. You know, I never had goals of going being some big YouTuber, getting a whole bunch of
Yeah. I
subscribers.
mean,
That was never my goal anyway. So, you know,
right.
we'll see what happens.
Do fun, creative stuff with people, you
Yeah,
know? Find
yeah,
people that like doing the creative stuff and really, that's all I look for. Is because
yeah.
not everybody, like a lot of people, they want to find a way to capitalize on
Hmm.
you, you know?
Hmm.
And um, I'd rather just make something and give it to somebody, you
Yeah,
know? That's
yep.
just I don't know. That's just the way I am. But I know I'm not. I don't really. I guess I don't. My wife does well, so I don't have to worry about. I'm just a house bitch, bro. I just.
nothing, nothing wrong with that. Shoot, sign
I
me up.
mean, so do you have anything else, man, that you want to share with us here? I mean, are you working with any people that are inspiring you? Do you have any projects that are upcoming? Is there anything that you
No,
want?
I'm just gonna keep on shooting, making wedding stuff, man. I would like to say if anyone out there is really thinking of, you know, becoming a filmmaker, um, you can do this stuff. I would say at first you're gonna have to start doing a whole bunch of stuff for free, and don't think down or less of yourself because you're offering services free. At first, you're not gonna have a choice really. You're gonna have to build that portfolio, and the
Mm,
only way to build the portfolio is to do work. And it's hard to get people to say, yes, here's money, make this video for me without having any work to show them. So don't be afraid to walk up to, you know, the local restaurant that you see that's brand new, that's going to have a grand opening, and saying, hey, I'd like to shoot a commercial for you. I'll offer my services for free. That's how you get your first portfolio right there. That's or first piece of your portfolio right there. If you do that a couple of times, next thing you know, you've got a lot to show. So the next client that comes around, you can actually charge, you know, that amount that you're looking for whatever work they're trying to get done. So yeah,
that's great.
I mean, you can make a living out of this stuff. You can make it work. It's cool.
That's great advice. So you're doing this now. Do you have a side? You mentioned the real estate stuff in the beginning, but since we had doubled
Yeah,
audio,
it's hard to like I reached out to real estate agents and I said, hey, and I told them, you know, who I was. I'm a filmmaker and I focus on shooting real estate, high end real estate. I said I'm brand new and I'm working on building a portfolio. I'd like to shoot a video for you for free. And I got a whole bunch of yeses. But it was hard to actually get the work done because the owners of the houses have to also agree to let you in. You see what I'm saying? And
Yes.
shoot as well. So what I learned is the best way to get into a expensive piece of real estate is to piggyback off of the photographer as well. Because when they take photos, the house has to be ready to show. Like it can't look
Right.
like someone's actually living there, right? So they stage everything. Everything gets staged, everything gets cleaned, stuff gets put away, and then they take the photos. Try to schedule your video shoot the same day as the photo shoot so they don't have to do that twice. They don't have to get the property ready two separate times for you. And that way they're more inclined to say yes. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe even friend for a couple photographers
Photographer, right.
in your
And
area.
next time you know that they're shooting for the photos, say, hey, ask if I can come along and offer a video for free as well.
Absolutely. That's
Yep.
actually really, really great sound advice that anybody, no matter where you live in the world, can do. As far as your occupation, you're doing the filmmaking stuff. Do you have to hold down a normal job too, or are you able to
Yeah,
make
no,
to survive?
I still got a normal job as well. But I'll be leaving in February and I'll be quitting and I'll be doing this full time, like 100%.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so for this, I'd like to do this.
Awesome.
Dang, I wrote
It's all
that
good.
out
I
loud. That was,
appreciate it, man.
yeah, man. Hey, congrats. And
Yeah.
I want a text message when that's official.
Okay. Yeah. I was
Is,
I was thinking about doing a YouTube video actually. I
yeah, man.
just quit my job. This is it. Done. Whatever.
Let me help in any way I can. This has been awesome. I'm hoping that there's something in here that anyone that's watching it can get some use out of. If you're into music and you're into video and photography, go ahead and you can leave a comment. You can you can look in the description and go and find Kareem's YouTube page as well. He's a really nice guy. If you have a question about any of the stuff we talked about, I'm sure he'd answer it for you.
Absolutely.
Also,
I'm here to help.
and you can find him on Instagram too. Same 83 Media Productions. Are you on
Mhm.
Facebook or any other social medias?
Nope, just that's it. Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram and the
So,
tube.
okay. So we'll go ahead and put some links in the description for you guys to get in touch with him. If you want to get in touch with me, you know how to do so. This has been awesome. And
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing if we can come up with something down the road.
Yeah, man, do a little collab. I'd love that actually. Yeah.
Cool, man. Anybody that's watching on playback, whoever you are, probably Gamma, maybe not.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We needed that. We needed that. So
Yeah, no, yeah, appreciate that,
I
Gamma. If
really
you're
do
still
appreciate.
listening.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, bro, for going, running it back with
Yeah.
me because
No problem.
it's been cool. So, all right, man.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. See you soon.
Bye guys. Peace.